Hello, Dr. Vicki Peterson here. We talk a lot about the health of the gut, and I don't think we can talk too much about the health of your gut. But I'm always learning, so I always want to share with you what I'm learning. And recently I've been sort of putting together some aspects of the gut that I think will make a lot of sense, especially when we're talking about what to eat. So a lot of us have heard about leaky gut, and there's IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and IBD, and Crohn's disease, and a lot of different gut problems that are all about the gut's inflamed. And the leaky gut is that the integrity of the lining of the gut is compromised. And so a lot of things happen when that occurs. Now there's one single layer of cells between the inside of your intestine and your bloodstream. There's only a single layer there. Boy, they do a lot, that single layer. But they also produce something called mucin, and it's M-U-C-I-N, and it's almost like the word mucus, because that's what it's like. It's this nice mucusy layer in a good way. So it's this nice emollient layer, almost like if you put your tongue on the inside of the cheek of your mouth, it's nice and slippery. And what that does is it keeps this nice barrier between any bacteria coming in and your cells themselves, the lining of your intestine. Because what should happen is you've got all your immune system, 80% of it is housed in the gut. And in a healthy gut, what happens is that any bacteria or parasites that come in, those immune cells just destroy them, and they're just excreted out when you defecate, and that's the end of it. That's the design. It's very well designed. However, what can happen is you can lose the integrity of that lining, and that mucin, that protective, almost like this aloe mucusy kind of protection that's protecting the cells, has everything to do with the integrity of your gut and how healthy your gut is. And by virtue of an unhealthy gut, then what happens are things permeate outside the gut and create inflammation outside. So we want a lot of healthy mucin, and the way the body makes mucin is by fermentable fibers that you eat. So what are the fermentable fibers? They're all the fruits, all the vegetables. Mushrooms have these fibers. So does whole oats and barley. Now, if you're somebody who's gluten sensitive, barley's off the list, but the rest of them are absolutely fine. If you're consuming oats, make sure that they're certified to be gluten-free, but otherwise those are really healthy foods that make these fermentable fibers. And so then what happens is the good bacteria in your gut, they digest those fibers, and they make what's called short-chain fatty acids. And that's what your gut cells need, these short-chain fatty acids. What's the percentage? I wrote it down, sorry, as I look at my notes. 60 to 90% of the short-chain fatty acids produced in your gut go to make mucin. So this nice healthy layer again of protection across the lining of your intestines, 60 to 90%. So that makes happy gut cells, healthy gut cells, and by virtue for you, a healthy gut and a healthy body. So how does it all go awry? If you're eating simple carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, the white bread and the sugar and the junk food that is so pervasive in the United States, what happens is you're feeding the wrong bacteria. And so those commensal, the really nice, the nice for you that make the short chain fatty acids, they don't like the junk food. So you're feeding the bad guys when you're eating the junk food. And then what happens is those bad guys crowd out the good guys. Your ability to make the short chain fatty acids go down. Your ability to make the mucin goes down. And there goes the lining of your gut. So pretty interesting, right? It's funny how you know parts of something and you think it all makes sense. And then all of a sudden it, really congeals and you're like, aha, there's an aha moment for me. So hopefully I gave you that aha moment, because let's go to the bottom line. The bottom line is that the sugar and the refined carbohydrates are not only just feeding the bad guys. We've always known it fed the bad guys, but it's compromising your cell's ability to make their protective layer via that mucin. So not your friend on so many different levels. A new patient came in the other day, and she had just been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and you know, she was doing a lot right. She really was. And so, you know, I'm always sort of looking for, because she'd been to a lot of doctors, and I'm always looking for, okay, you know, what's not right? Because we have a very interesting stable datum here at Root Cause, which is that, you know, if the body's not functioning optimally, you've missed something. You know, it's very easy to say, but it's also very accurate, because your body's ability to heal itself is incredible. So if it's not healing itself, you've missed something. So just keep at it until you figure it out. So it gives us a lot of tenacity, because we've been doing this for so long and our success rate is so high. So we've gotten very tenacious. So I was going through her history, and turns out she loves sugar. Like, that's her downfall, and a lot of it. And so there you go. You have this inflammatory bowel type of disease, an autoimmune disease, and somebody who loves sugar, and you're like, uh-oh. She'd also never been tested for gluten sensitivity. You know, so there was a few things that I would want to do, and hopefully she does start care and we'll get to do it. But I did think of her when I was doing this research. So if your gut is not the way you want it to be, your health is not the way you want it to be, please reach out and let's figure out what's going on for you that needs to be addressed. And the telephone number here is 408-733-0400. I look forward to talking to you.